Hey you guys, this is Caroline and this is my beautiful client, Miss Benita. She is here to get a glueless lace frontal sew in. On my last video of my glueless lace frontal sew in, I did a full video on it. I will leave the video link in the description box. But I got so many views on that video, so much love on that video. And I also got so many questions on how I cut the elastic band because I did not show that part in the video. So I figured since my client wanted another lace frontal glueless, I figured I will do a video now and show you guys how I cut the elastic band in the back of the glueless lace frontal and how it stays put and stays on my client's hair without lifting. So let's just get started. Alright, so I did went ahead and already braided her hair all back. And I also went ahead to use the Got To Be glue gel and slick down her baby hairs in the front just to remove her baby hair out of the way. Now I'm going to take my 10 stocking cap and put it over her hair. I'm going to be doing the ball cap method. This just helps the stocking serves like a scalp under the lace. It also helps protect her edges in the front from the lace frontal. Okay, so I'm just securing it on her hair. I'm putting holes in the ear part just so that the stocking sits directly on her hair, especially around her ears, that it fits nicely when I get ready to cut it. Next, I'm just taking some Got To Be glue gel and Got To Be glue spray, and I'm going to slick the cap down in the front, just making sure that it's nice and firm when I get ready to cut it. And then I did put her under the dryer for a little bit so she can get dry, and then I'm going to be ready to cut the stockings off. Alright, so I did put her under the dryer for about 10 minutes. Now she's completely dry in the front, so I'm just taking a pair of scissors and cutting off the extra stockings in the front. After cutting the stockings in the front, I did went ahead and use my needle and thread, and I sewed on a weaving net in the back of her hair, and I attached the weaving net with the stockings. This just helped my bundles have a good base to be sewn onto. Once my stocking is in place, I'm just using some foundation to tint the stocking so that the stockings matches her skin tone. After tinting her stockings on her hair, I also went ahead and tint the lace frontal. Alright, so once my stockings is tint and my lace frontal is tint, we're ready to go. Starting with my elastic band, I always use a big elastic band. It has a more firm and secure hold. This is how I measure the elastic band. I start by measuring at the client's temple, behind the client's ear, and I pass mid-width past the nip area. I stop and then pull and stretch the elastic band behind my client's other ear to the other temple, and then I hold it and ask my clients, does it feel stretched and tight enough? And I ask them if it's secure enough. Once the set is secure and feels tight enough, then that will be my measurement. I take my scissors and cut my elastic band. Once I have my measurements for my elastic band, I always take my frontal and I measure it on the client's hair, making sure the exact place on the temple where I measure the elastic band, I measure the exact placement on the lace frontal before I sew the elastic band on the lace frontal. After measuring the exact placement, I went ahead and sewed the elastic band on the frontal, and you can see how tilted the elastic band is sewn down on the frontal because that's exactly how I measure the elastic band on her temple. So now the elastic band is on the frontal and the frontal is ready to be installed. Alright, so once the lace frontal is over her hair, you can see how tight that lace frontal is secured to her head without any glue. I just placed the frontal on and it is really tight and secure. And I just went ahead and pulled it in the front and positioned it right over her hairline. Now I'm just taking my eyebrow shaving razor and cutting off the extra lace in the front. Alright, you guys, so the frontal is on. Okay, you guys can see I have absolutely no glue on this frontal, but I need this frontal to stay in place. The elastic band helps the frontal stays in place while I do the sew in. So the first thing I do to secure this frontal is I start with a middle part. Actually, I start slightly off the middle part. I part a roll on one of the braids and I go ahead and take my needle and sew a thin line of thread starting from the back of the frontal and work my way to the front of the frontal. This what helps the frontal stay in place, and I'm going to do a couple of stitches throughout the frontal. Alright, so once after sewing the first row in the middle, I move on to the sides right near the temple, exactly where I measured the elastic band. I'm going to part another hair row on another braid exactly at the temple. But when I do this side, I'm going to ask my client to hold down the side so as I sew, the part that's flipping up doesn't shift back. Then I'm going to part the hair row, and then I'm going to take my needle and thread again. Starting from the back of the lace frontal, I'm going to start sewing on the braid on the row that I part, and I'm going to sew and work my way to the front of the hairline. Alright, so after our second stitch, it's time for our third stitch. Now the third stitch is going to be near the ear part. Now for most glueless lace frontals install, the placement of the band makes it very hard for the ear tabs to be securely flat without the glue. So this part makes it hard for the lace to be flat near the ear with any glueless install. So you will have to slick down your baby hair every night to make sure that it's secure, or every morning to make sure that the lace is laying down flat near the ear. But this is the method that I do to eliminate some of that, so that the ear tabs can be a little bit flatter and you have less to deal with your install. So what I do is, one of the reasons why I use the big elastic band too, because it has a little bit more stretch and it have a little bit more space. So what I do is I'm able to sew a third row right near the ear on a braid over the elastic band. And I sew starting from the back of the lace, working my way to the front, and sew a thin line for the third row, and I sew it on top of the elastic band. This what helps eliminate most, not all, but most of the part that's near the ear, so you don't have a lot of lifting near the ear and you just have a little bit to deal with after your install. Now, once I have my 3 stitches on one side, that is pretty much it for securing one side, okay? So now I'm going to move on to the other side and do the exact 3 stitches the exact same way, and my client's going to hold the front the exact same way. And I'm going to do all 3 now, but I'm going to move this part really fast so we can get through to the next step of the video. I can't regret leaving you alone until you find your way back home. Find your way back home. Alright, so once my 3 stitches is done on the other side, you guys can see I have no glue on this frontal, just that my elastic band is nicely stretched, that it makes my frontal snug and secure and firm on my client's hairline. So now I'm ready to move on to the back of the frontal. I'm just making sure that the band is comfortable around her hair until I get ready to cut it. But before that, we're going to secure the frontal in the back, okay? So starting off with the middle, I'm going to take my needle and thread starting from the middle, and I'm going to work my way down and sew the frontal down, going towards one side of her ear, and I'm going to come back up and sew the frontal down from the middle and work my way to the other side of her ears. Alright, so once I have the frontal secure in the back, in the front, it's not shifting, the elastic band is secure, the frontal is settled. This is the question I get all the time. How do you get the band to still secure if you cut it? And how does the lace frontal stay down on the client's hair? This is the $1 million question that I get all the time from my last video. So once the frontal is secure in the front, I take the elastic band and I pull it on the weaving net. I secure it on the weaving net and I make sure it's positioned nicely in the back of the client's hair near their ear part. And I take my thread and needle and I sew from one end of the band to the other end of the band. I sew about 3 to 4 stitches on the seam spot, going from up to down, down to up, up to down, down to up, up to down, down to up. I do 3 stitches of each on the elastic band. This is the part that makes the elastic band stay secure and flat, and it does not shift and move once I cut the band in the back. I'm taking my thread and my needle and I'm sewing from down to up, down to up, down to up on the elastic band, and I'm going to do 3 different stitches in 3 different sections. This is what secure the elastic band and make the frontal stays in place without moving until my client is ready to take out her install. Once I do one side, I move myself to the other side and do the exact same steps with the 3 stitches, and I work my way from one side of the elastic band and work my way up over to the top of the elastic band, and I do the 3 stitches over and over in the same spot. Alright, so now that I have my extra stitches of the elastic band on both sides in the back of my client's hair, my lace frontal, my glueless lace frontal sew in is completely secure and completely in place. Now it's okay. I'm going to take my pair of scissors and cut off the extra lace around the ears. Alright, y'all, you guys can see how beautiful around her ears looks, okay? My size is cut off, is securely around her ear. My lace frontal is in place, and this is my $1,000,000 question answer. Do you cut the elastic band? Can you cut the elastic band? Did you cut the elastic band? Yes, I did. I cut the elastic band off. The lace frontal is in place. It did not move. It did not shift. It's not going to shift. It's not going to move. It's going to stay in place. This is my full sew-in glueless lace frontal install. She's not going to get a headache from the elastic band in the back of her neck because the elastic band is cut. And to tell you that this is a glueless, do you see the scratch? Glueless. The scratch, I can pull it and it stretches right back and snap right back in place. This is what makes my lace frontal glueless stays in place after I cut the elastic band. So that's my $1,000,000 question for this video. I hope it answers your question. The only part she got to worry about is those little ear tabs that's flapping, and that is when she's going to have to slick her baby hairs down just to make sure every morning or every night to make sure that those ear parts are sticking down. Alright, y'all, so this video is already long, so I'm just going to run through the rest of the video just to finish the hairstyle. She brought in her own hair, so if she's nice enough to let me have the links, I will put the links in the description box. I did not get this hair. She brought in her own hair. In the back of her hair, I'm going to start to place the bundles, and I'm going to use my thread and needle and sew the bundles in place and work my way to the top. I'm going to fast forward this whole part because we just want to get to the styling so the video can be over, okay? Now you guys can see in the back of her hair, she has no band. She's not going to get a headache from the band. She's not going to get tension headache from the band. She's not going to be uncomfortable in the back of her head or on the back of her neck because of the band. The band is cut off, okay? And don't go for my clients for the back of her hair. She actually had a hairstyle cut where the back of her hair was completely shaved off, and now it's starting to grow back. So please don't come for her and talking about why her hair is short in the back, okay? That's just her hair because she had a style originally that was shaved off, okay? So I'm going to run through the whole video for the rest of the video so you guys can see the finished look. I can fly. Alright, you guys, so now we at the top of the bundles installed in the back. I sew on all 3 bundles. I'm adding the last track, and that is pretty much it for the install, okay? I'm just going to, like I said, fast forward the rest of the video, styling, curling, making baby hair, and all the other 9 yards. If you want to see full detailed tutorial on how I do baby hair, styling, and other stuff, please check out the other video. I will leave the link in the description box so you guys can see it. But you can see how that closing is perfect. This is my perfectly glueless lace frontal sew-in install, okay?